Of course, I hit start recording right when I'm about to belch. Fantastic. Welcome to Flying with Planet Head. I could very easily just restart this recording again, but that's who I am. Uh, whew, been a long weekend. Thank you for joining me. Uh, I'll get to my hint. Actually, I will get to rebooting here. um, what in the world just happened there? Let's try and get up and running here again. Had a little bit of an issue last night with the Eve launcher. Um, couldn't get back onto playing, and every time I pulled up the launcher, it would uh, kind of minimize and not be able to be pulled back up again. So I watched the little icon that was there with a little bar that was blue, and it would keep getting larger and smaller and larger and smaller, and I was assuming that it was doing an update. So I did let it sit today, and I was able to play later on. Long weekend while I'm waiting for this to boot up. Got a ton done. Uh, and is it coming here? You going? Did I hit play? Yeah, there we go. Come on, baby. You got it. Gonna minimize you. Good there. Got a ton done in the real world. I think I mentioned this before. My old house I'm trying to sell. It was a rental prop. I bought it about 10 years ago, rented it out for the last 5 years, and now I'm selling it to kind of simplify my life. I live in a very small house now that I'm rebuilding. But the last 3 days I have been patching walls and fixing things and cutting down bushes and painting things and doing all sorts of stuff. And in the meantime, playing a little Eve. I've been really kind of surprised by how much I've actually gotten done and still been able to play, other than whenever the launcher wasn't working. Let's hopefully this stays up and running. Come on. I want to get to my hint of the day. Could just restart this video, but maybe this just shows you the pain that I go through every single day. Now, it is the computer, and at some point I will get a new one, but I'm going to wait until I sell the house before I start looking at it. If anybody has... Are we going here? Hello? Hello? Come on. If anybody has does any YouTube videos or does anything like that, and they have a nice setup, I just run this off my gaming laptop that's about 2 years old. I think I've said this before. I got it at a wholesale food warehouse, if you can believe it. But it's been plays Eve fine. It's just making videos is a little bit tough. Water, coffee. So let's get to the hint first, because I'm trying to stay on the plan, I'm trying to stay on the game plan. I am in Tama, so my hint is 2 parts, but of the same thing. If you do not do this much, it's something that I was really bad at, and I still don't do it enough. Um, filters, filters. If you're trying to fit things or do different things, use filters, man. Filters will save your life, even if you only save up a few. Um, let's put it this way. I can create, and I don't have it on William, I have it on Amanda there. But for your inventory, you can set up filters. Let's say I just want to create low um, low slot filters. So the slot type is filter, and I'm going to name it low power. So let's say I'm trying to go through my inventory, which sometimes can be a huge amount. If you've ever seen the amount that I have out in stain there. Low, save, saved. Okay. So this is my hanger right now. Let's say I only want to see what the low items are. It'll show me this. So I can very easily, whenever I'm filtering things, see what I need and what I don't need. That said, this is the most basic filter that you can use. I have just recently started using filters in my exploration. I'm not very good at it, but I'm slowly learning it, and it is saving me a ton of time and actually giving me access to some things. So I just want to show you that out here as my hint. I'm going to undock. I'm going to fly to my save spot. Very small hint, very, very small hint. Um, Added on to this, I dock up at a player-owned station here because as soon as I move, I get the hello. Well, I was supposed to get. There it is. The tethering. It's supposed to turn right away. Wow, this is running real slow. Let me minimize this over here. I'm going to start a. There we go. So, long story short, as soon as you leave, that normally doesn't happen. You automatically get a tether, so I can look around and see what's going on and see who's around who might want to kill me. Versus if I leave a regular station, I have to have a exit safe spot. That's not the hint that I'm going with. Filters. Filters. So let's go to my safe one. Then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Filters are all over the place in this game. But one thing that I'm slowly using it for is my scavenging. I am in Tama. I've scavenged a bunch of Tech 2 drones in the last day or so, just for the fun of it. I am really amazed that I have not died yet doing what I'm doing. Because I'm literally just looking for dead carcasses of ships that were in fights, and then whatchamacallit, stealing stuff or getting stuff off of them. I'm a freaking vulture. That is what I'm naming the ship. It's named Probe. Change the name to Vulture. Don't worry, I do this all the time. Vulture. There we go. So, this is a very simple one. This kind of piggybacks on top of the video that I had the other day where I talked about descanning and scanning down areas and holding down the V button. So if you look here, this is everything that's in the area. Now if I filter this, and I say I just want to look at drones. Are there any drones in here? Look at all of these drones right now. Okay? And what I can do, and these are drones. Now it means that, I'm just using this as an example. It means that the drones are out does not mean they're just lying around. They could be being used by somebody someplace. But what I can do is I've filtered everything for drones. Now I can hold down the V button and scan each one. There's 2 hobgoblins at this small outpost. There's none at the open outpost, none at the Caldari infrastructure, none at the novice outpost, none there, none there. So you say, okay, well, where is everything? Hey, there's some right at the Suginto gate. Well, guess what? I have a 150-kilometer safe spot right outside of the gate. So let's go fly over that. Now, it could be at the station here or here. We're going to fly there real quick. Now, I am going to switch this back over to a 360. V. Zooming in, and there they are. Now, do I want to be sitting out here like this? No. So I am going to get my micro warp drive up and running. Go to the right. I just want to get myself cloaked up. If anybody was watching me. So there is a Galente cruiser wreck right there. Now, is that near a bunch of stuff? Yes, it is. There's also a couple of acolyte ones right there. And there's a Venture who just left right there. So we got a Vengeance. It's a 1236. So that Vengeance could actually see me going after this cruiser wreck. But as you see, there's just a bunch of stuff that you can find out there with the Vengeance. Bye-bye. And now he's warping back in. Let's take a look at him. Look at. And the Vengeance is going to go get the wreck that is that Galente cruiser. This is great. I love sitting here and watching this sort of thing sometimes. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a Retribution. The Vengeance is over here. So, yeah, he's just checking out. See, so, do I need to run over here and check this out right now? No. Would I do this at a gate? No. But what I could do is actually check out. We're going to warp back to my safe spot. Warp. Bye-bye. So that is the hint. Basically, filters. There's filters all over this place in this game, and I don't use them enough. They can really, and you can use them in ways that will make things interesting. A great example might be, was it the small outpost here that had the two drones? Let's just check it out here. Drone. There we go. And then we'll go down to a 5. And we'll scan that small outpost. Yep, the two Hobgoblin 2s. Let me get myself moving here. So we got two Hobgoblin 2s. Now, it's in a small outpost. So there's a couple things you could ask yourself. Why are there two Hobgoblin 2s? Are they just lying there? Boop. So if I put this down and I switch it over to my active filters, which is basically my overview that I've currently got active here, there is a Velotor. Just make sure I'm looking at the right spot. It's a Velotor right here, a Morty's Harasser. So, my question is, sometimes you might see maybe 3 drones. If you know your ships, you might know that there's a Mauler there because a Mauler can only fly 3 light drones. And what you can do is switch back and forth and see what you might be going up against. If, for example, there are 3 Acolyte 1s, then you might be able to ascertain that that guy isn't that good because he's not flying higher level drones. So maybe his ship he's flying isn't that great. So maybe you can engage him in PvP in a better standing than others. I'm just saying this is just some information that you might be able to get off of this sort of thing. So filters on top of knowledge, fantastic. Now I'm barely touching the cusp of this because this is the amount of knowledge that I have of this, but it is what has gotten me really, really more interested recently in just doing all sorts of interesting things with Eve and getting to that. I was at the bottom level. I think I think I'm like, if there were 5 levels, I think if I was at bottom level, maybe I'm like middle bottom, and I'm working toward that middle area. Still have so much to learn. I haven't even touched the edges of actual combat. I'm not going to say PvP anymore because a couple of guys have said it, and I 100% agree. When you undock, you are saying, I am willing to PvP. The fact that I'm out in space right now says whether I'm dodging or attacking somebody. So combat-wise, instigated combat, I have not done hardly at all. So I tried a couple times, and I scared a couple people off. One other thing that I wanted to point out, which is kind of cool, I came up with this idea. So I'm not going to spend all my time in Tama now. I'm learning a bunch. One thing that I am doing here is I'm not cloaked up. if you've noticed, um, is I have myself pointed in one direction from my safe spot with my micro warp drive on. I used to do this as an alpha when I didn't have a cloak, because by the time somebody combat probes me down, and if I'm constantly doing a D scan, I can usually see if there's any combat probes. By the time somebody combat probes me around, then warps to where I'm at, I can see them and normally warp off. Now, if I need to go to the bathroom, I'll cloak up. But this allows me to be a little more active. Um, sure, they can scan down my save spot, but I'll move that every other day, so I'm not too worried about that. Another one of the notes that somebody said to me was save the rec um, in your save spots. I've been doing that too, and as you can see here, and warping directly to Rex. Now I can get rid of this because that was a day ago, so I don't need that anymore. Remove. I'm getting a decent amount of salvage doing this, but the knowledge that I'm gaining just hanging out here in some of the other high uh, volume areas, high PvP areas, has been astronomical. My knowledge level is popping way up there. So if you can challenge yourself, you don't have to go to Tama. You can go to any one of the other high level combat areas, or just freaking go out to Nullsec and have some fun and create some content for some of the big boys that are out there and have them chase you around for a little while. They'll like it. Trust me. They may not say they like it, but it gives them content. Okay, they may not like it, but so the other thing that I have done, and you might have seen it earlier, is, and this shouldn't be here. That was just salvage that I got. I threw in a mobile depot and a core probe launcher instead of the expanded probe launcher and the Sisters core scanners. Now you can throw Sisters core scanners into the expanded probe launcher, but they're not as good doing it through there, and I don't think they are. Long story short, if I leave Tama and I go to a space that I want to be able to use my relic and my data analyzers, if I want to go to a wormhole, I can drop the mobile depot, switch out my items, pick the mobile depot back up, and then do my regular scanning. So I don't have to go home to actually set up to do regular scanning versus combat probe scanning. So let's just show you here one thing that I can do. Let's now notice here there's been some GFs. So there's been some fights that have gone on. Let's see if anybody has left anything around. Still moving at a 3,000. So there's a decent number of wrecks there. There's a Vengeance in there. There's a Minmatar battle cruiser in the open outpost. Interesting. Do I want to take a shot? That's an open outpost. You don't have to go through a gate. I might be able to steal something from that. Domination. We got a Galente at the medium outpost. Galente frigate, and those are useless to me. Okay, let's take a chance. This is actually a little bit scary. I want to see what that battle cruiser is there. It's a Minmatar battle cruiser. I don't think I can warp to 100 with this one. I think I have to warp directly in at it, but we're going to find out. As soon as I land, I'm going to turn. Now that I know that I'm going in at it, I'm going to change this over to scan at 1.0. I've only got the battle cruiser here. I'm not going to go right after the battle cruiser right off the bat. I'm going to warp in. Okay, so battle cruiser's gone. Warp away. Now there is... Ooh. Those were some drones. Oh. Let's see if we can get to them. Can't remember if those were tier 1s or tier 2s. Here's a good one. So this, the open outpost is here. I saw that there were drones here. So let's find out without putting myself at risk. Number one, let's get myself up and running and moving. Without putting myself at risk, I know they were at the open outpost. I know that they're at 9 AU away. So I can then limit this down to 5 to aim it at that. And we're going to aim it at that. So we're aimed at the PvE wreck of the battlecruiser. Then I'm going to change my filter down, and they're integrated infiltrators. Show info. Okay. And view market details. Clear that. None of those are being sold in the area right now. I could go get them. This is what I like to do. I could probably die doing this. We're going to check one more time. I've got the drones filter up. We're going to go back to that. I don't have anybody here. So I am going to warp back to this at 100. Keep my distance from it. Switch this back down to 360. Do a 1. What this is doing is telling me if anybody is in the area. And this is just really, really good practice. So there's my drones. 59 kilometers away. Approach. I'm going to keep an eye right here. Ooh, there's a body there too. And then scooped cargo hold. Shush. I'm going to turn my micro warp drive off. I should have turned it off earlier than that. Why? That's just too far away. There we go. 2740. Because if somebody were to decloak, this is not going as fast as I would normally do. If somebody were to decloak, having the micro warp drive on, D-scan, nobody around. Scoop cargo hold. Snap. Scoop cargo hold. Thank you. Why am I picking up this body? Because I'm stupid? Keeping an eye on my D-scan. And we warp back to our safe spot. Now there was nothing in the cargo of this, so I didn't mess around. Am I gonna try to salvage drone it? No, there's way too much going on here in Tama. But this is really good practice. I did not do it the best there. Normally I roll in, tag it, steal everything real quick, roll back out. But what you can use this for is really good practice for if you're in a system where a big battle just happened and maybe everybody skedaddled, or maybe you just see a wreckage on your D-scan and you want to get in and grab stuff. Just really, really good practice. Anytime you're doing anything active is just really good practice. So, let's see here. I don't have a whole lot else, to be honest with you. I just want to play and have some fun. Um, I start back to work tomorrow morning, so nights will be a little bit busy. Um, but I'll try to be playing each night this week. Maybe throw something else. I have a couple ideas for some videos that I want to do. But other than that, thank you so much for the comments. In my comments section, there is a really great. The last video, I talked about the 2-second align time, and do I have it here? There it is. Lewis Steele does a really great explanation here about, even more so about the 2-second align time and a little bit of history of it. He talks about Hateless, who is one of the guys who I watch videos of, who I've learned a lot from. So feel free to read that. Other than that, I'm just going to have some fun. I'm going to make some dinner and try to get myself blown up a little bit more. I didn't get a whole lot here. Sometimes I just run into an area and I pick up stuff I never should have gotten before. It's kind of ridiculous. But this is more fun than anything. You saw where I can make a ton of money off of just doing relics and data sites. This is more of your active stuff, and I'm learning a lot to get myself better and better at maybe down the road doing some PvP. Combat, not PvP. Combat. So, other than that, hey guys, fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however that you want. And if you need to get in touch with me, please feel free to comment in the comment section. Or just message me at William Pilgrim or Amanda Rose Pilgrim. I've been playing a little bit more with William Pilgrim lately just because I'm having fun with it, but I'm sure I'll switch back over to Amanda. She is my main. But other than that, fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however that you want, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.